Power 102.7 FM, the pride of the people.
A very beautiful morning out there, and welcome to another edition of In the Papers on your darling station, iPower 102.7 FM, your trusted window into headlines shaping our nations and the world. I am Florence Ibhareman, and of course, here we are here to guide you through today's top news headlines, breaking them down, connecting the dots, and helping you understand what it truly means for you to be an everyday citizen. From politics to economy to security and social issues, today's paper are packed with conversations that matter, news that will inform your decision, shape your opinion, and keep you ahead of your curves. Today we have headlines from the Hope newspaper, we have headlines from the Punch newspaper, we have headlines from the Nations newspaper, we also have headlines from the Guardian newspaper this beautiful morning. Beginning with the Hope newspaper this morning, we have how Ondo Amotekun rescued me, my son, from kidnappers. Victim recount ordeal. Still on the Hope newspaper this morning, we have a National Assembly working on accountable state police framework, and that was from Bamidili. Still on the Hope newspaper this morning, talking Palm Sunday. Show empathy, tackle hardship, insecurity. Khan Arogundade urge leaders. Away from the Hope newspaper this morning and now to the Punch newspaper, where we have Unilag leads as federal government disposes 2.25 billion naira grants to 45 students. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, we have Nigerians may seek third term for Tinubu, says Oluwo. Of course, still on the Punch newspaper this morning, SANU threatens strike over salary and allowances delay. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, Neo-Life scam, distributor suspended, three-phase arraignment. Away from the Punch newspaper and now to the Nations, where we have federal government tightens airport security with joint screening system. And lastly, from Daily Post, where we have supporting Tinubu as PDP member, not anti-party, and that was from Fayoshe. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll start with the major headlines from today's stories. Glad to have you back. The program is still in the papers, your daily nuggets for news making major headlines in today's newspaper. Beginning with the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have how Ondo Amotekun rescued me, my son, from kidnappers. Victim recounts ordeal. Now the details. A 45-year-old man, Mr. Shegun Makinde, has narrated to the Hope Metro how the Ondo State Security Network Agency, codenamed Amotekun, rescued him and his 15-year-old son from the kidnappers following a late-night operation along Oda Road in Akure South local government area. The Corps Commandant Akogun Adetunji Adeleye earlier confirmed the incident, stating that the victims were abducted at Pelebe, on the outskirts of Akure between 7:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. on March 27. It is disclosed that operative of the Amotekun raid response squad engaged the kidnappers in a fence gun battle around 1 a.m., forcing them to abandon the victim and flee. Narrating the ordeal, the middle-aged man, identified as Shagun Makinde, said he was attacked shortly after arriving in his home in the evening. According to him, the armed men ambushed him at his residence, shot at his vehicle, and forcibly dragging him into the bush after assaulting with a cutlass. Makinde said the kidnappers, numbering about five initially, later joined forces with additional armed men as they moved deeper into the forest. He explained that while in captive, he and his son seized an opportunity to escape when they heard voices nearby. Unknown to them, a Motekwa operative had already positioned themselves in the area. Makinde that after several minutes of hiding, the operative eventually located and rescued them. He added that the security personnel provided immediate medical attention upon the rescue and transported them to the Amotekun headquarters in Alagbaka, Akure. For details of that story, see the Hot newspaper with this headline: How Ondo Amotekun rescued me, my son, from kidnappers. Victim recounts ordeal. Still on the Hope newspaper this morning, where we have National Assembly working on accountable state police framework. Now the details. The leader of the Senate, Senator Okpayemi Bamidele, has disclosed that the National Assembly has commenced to work on a decentralized policing framework aimed at strengthening accountability and preventing abuse by the political class. Bamidele, who also served as vice chairman of the Senate committee in a review of the 1999 Constitution, said the proposed model would devolve policing power and subnational authorities while embedding safeguards to ensure transparency and respect for human rights. He made this known in a statement issued on Sunday to mark the 74th birthday of President Bola Tinubu, where he also reflected on the administration's effort to address Nigerian security and economic challenges. According to him, the parliament is committed to developing a policing system that serves all citizens irrespective of status, noting that the initiative is authority receiving priority attention amid growing calls for reforms in the nation's security architecture. The Senate leader explained that the decentralized police model is designed to improve security across federation, particularly in a remote area, by aligning police with Nigeria's federal structure. He added that the framework under consideration would incorporate strict accountability mechanism to curb misuse of power, strengthen the administration of justice, discourage impunity, and protect fundamental human rights. Bamdele noted that President Tinubu has expressed support for the establishment of state police as part of broader measures to safeguard lives, properties, and crucial infrastructure nationwide. If that story aligns with your interests, it is on the page of the Hope newspaper this morning with this headline: National Assembly working on accountable state police framework, says Bamidele. We are still on the page of the Hope newspaper this morning where we have a talk on Palm Sunday. Show empathy, tackle hardship, insecurity, can Rogundade Hajj leaders. Now the details. President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Khan, Archbishop Daniel Okon, and the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Ondo, Most Reverend Jude Arogundadi, have called on political leaders to demonstrate empathy and take urgent steps to address the growing economic hardship and insecurity in the country as Christians marked Palm Sunday yesterday. In a statement issued on Sunday, the Khan President Archbishop Okon and also Bishop Arogundadi, in an interview with The Hope, made the call in commemoration of Palm Sunday. Khan President said the significance of Palm Sunday offers timely lessons for leadership, particularly at a time of economic strain and global uncertainty. Reflecting on the biblical account of Jesus' entry into Jerusalem, Okon noted that the moment symbolizes humility, peace, and purposeful leadership rather than a display of power. He said, and I quote, Jesus entered Jerusalem with calm resolve. At the time of uncertainty and expectation, it was not a show of force, but a message of peace, purpose, and hope, stressing that Nigerians' current socio-economic realities demand similar qualities from those in authority. The Khan president said across Nigeria, many feeling the weight of this time. The cost of living is rising, and for countless families, daily life is getting harder. He linked the domestic economic challenge to global development, particularly tension involving Iran, Israel, and the United States, which is said are disrupting energy markets worldwide. He warned that such pressures are intensifying hardship for ordinary citizens. The Khan president emphasized that in times of uncertainty, the tone and action of leaders are crucial to restore public confidence. For details of that story, see the Hub newspaper with this headline: Show empathy, tackle hardship, insecurity. Khan and Arogudade urged the leaders. Away from the Hope newspaper this morning and now to the Punch, where we have this headline: Unijust reschedule exams over security concerns. Now the details. The University of Jos has rescheduled examination earlier scheduled for Monday and Tuesday following an attack on Agonwa Rukuba community in Jos, not local government area of Plateau State. The development was contained in a statement issued on Monday by the Deputy Registrar Information and Public Relations of the university, Emmanuel Madugu. The Vice Chancellor has directed all examinations scheduled to hold on Monday and Tuesday to be rescheduled. This is in view of a Sunday night attack by gunmen on residents of the Agonwa Rubuka and the subsequently tension it has generated in and around the area. He urged staff and students to remain vigilant and avoid unnecessary movement. Madugu also advised students to report any security breaches to the university's security unit. The development follows Sunday's attack on Agunwa Rubuka, which the Plateau State Governor said resulted in loss of lives and injuries. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: Unijust reschedules examination over security concerns. Still talking education on the Punch newspaper, where we have Unilag leads as federal government disposes 2.25 billion naira grant to 45 students. Now the details. The federal government on Sunday disbursed 2.25 billion naira to 45 students across the nation's tertiary institution. The beneficiaries are among 65 students in innovators shortlisted for the Student Venture Capital Grant initiative of the government. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa, accompanied by the Minister of State for Education Professor Shuaiba Ahmed, presented a check to the selected 45 at the event held at the UNDP Innovation Hub, Ikoyi, Lagos. The SVCG is an initiative of the federal government aimed at supporting student-led businesses and innovations, with students able to access up to 50 million naira in equity-free funding. The University of Lagos led the award, with 8 of its students receiving 50 million naira in equity-free funding for the groundbreaking project. Some of the institutions that produced winners were the University of Ilorin, Federal University of Technology, Mina, Lagos State University, and Bayero University, Kano. Most of the solutions focused on leveraging artificial intelligence and technology to addressing societal challenges. Speaking allows a charged tertiary institution to refocus on the onlook towards innovation and move away from teaching theories. Alausa enjoined the governing council to focus on ensuring the emergence of vice chancellor and rectors with innovative mindset. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: Unilag leads as federal government disburses 2.25 billion naira grant to 45 students. Welcome back. The program is still glad to have you back. The program is still in the papers on your darling station, IPA 102.7 FM. You can join us on our socials: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at IPA 1027 FM. And of course, you can reach us for your comments regarding the stories read this morning on 08165524699. Yes, still on the Just story, where we have Plateau imposes curfew after attack in Just North. Now the details. The Plateau State Governor has imposed a 48-hour curfew on Just North local government area following a deadly attack in the Agunwan Rubuka community. In a statement on Sunday, the State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Joyce Ramnap, said the curfew would take effect from midnight March 29 to April 1, 2026. The government said the decision followed a tragic security incident in the area, which resulted in the loss of lives and several others injured. The statement read, and I quote, following a tragic security incident that occurred in the Gariya Waye community, Agunwa Rubuka, today, Sunday 29, that was yesterday, March 2026, resulting in the loss of lives, while several others sustained varying degrees of injuries. The Plateau State Governor, in conjunction with the security agencies, wishes to inform the general public of the imposition of a 48-hour curfew within Jas North local government area with immediate effect. According to a statement, Governor Caleb Mutfwang condemned the attack, describing it as barbaric and unprovoked, and assures residents that efforts were ongoing to apprehend those responsible. Residents had earlier told Punch Online that gunmen stormed the community on motorcycles on Sunday evening, shooting at bypassers. John Caleb said, and I quote, we have been badly hit in Agunwa by unknown gunmen. So far, 6 people have been confirmed dead and several other casualties at the Lunar Hospital by New Road. It is very unfortunate. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline. Plateau imposes curfew after attack in North Jos. Yes, still on the Punch newspaper, Shano threatens strike over salary allowances delay. Now the details. The Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities has issued a strong warning to the federal government, raising concern over unresolved labor issues and deteriorating conditions in the nation's university system. The warning was issued at the conclusion of the 54th National Executive Council meeting held in Ekiti State University in Ekiti State. In a communique released on March 29, 2026, the union said it expresses grave concern over the slow pace and inconclusive nature of the ongoing renegotiation between federal government and the non-teaching union in the university system, stressing that the prolonged discussion without result are unacceptable. In the communique was signed by the SANU National President Mohammed Ibrahim at the end of the meeting held from March 26 to 27, 2026. The council issued a firm ultimatum to the government, stating that SANU hereby issue a final ultimatum to the federal government from 1st April 2026 to 30th April 2026 to conclude the renegotiation process and sign the agreement. It added that failure to meet the deadline would trigger industrial actions, warning that there would be no going back on the decision by the JAC of the NASU and SANU. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: SANU threatens strike over salary allowances delay. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, where we have Nigerians may seek third term for Tinubu, says Oluwo. Now the details. The Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdurrashid Akambi, on Sunday said many Nigerians might seek a constitutional amendment to allow President Bola Tinubu to remain in office beyond 2 terms. The monarch, in a congratulatory message by a spokesperson Ibrahim Ali to celebrate Tinubu's 74th birthday, described the president as a decisive leader who has laid a renewed foundation of hope for the country. He said, and I quote, many Nigerians may beg for the constitution review for Tinubu to spend more than 2 terms in office. He is a leader who knows what he's doing. Oluwo said the president has distinguished himself through what he described as a firm campaign against illegalities that had stalled the country's economic growth. He added that the president's administrative prowess had driven notable gains, citing improvements in the naira, a rise in foreign reserves from about $1 billion to between $49.5 billion and $50.45 billion as of late February, March 2026, and strengthening economic index. The monarch attributed the gains to structural reforms, including exchange rate unification, increased oil in output, and high foreign investment. Oluwo also commended Tinubu for granting local government autonomy, increasing allocations to state, expanding road infrastructure, and improving palliative distribution at the grassroots. According to him, past leaders attempted similar economic reforms but were overwhelmed by public and political pressure. He said only a capable leader could implement tough but necessary decisions to reposition the economy. Oluwo added that the president's policies had begun to impact the standard of living, noting that the next phase would be stability. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: Nigerians may seek third term for Tinubu, says Oluwo. Yes, still on the pages of the Punch newspaper, where we have 60% of employers says graduates not job ready. Now the details. Nearly 60% of employers in Nigeria says graduates are not job ready, underscoring the widening gap between academic training and industry expectations, a new report has revealed. This comes as experts urge the Nigerians undergraduates to boost their employability by acquiring soft skill and leveraging opportunities both within and beyond the classroom before graduation. The advice was given on Thursday in Ikeja, Lagos, during a presentation of the Protein International latest report on the gap between education and industry needs. The report added that more than 55% of Nigerians graduate to work in roles unrelated to their field of study, as it highlighted crucial gap in communication, technical and digital skills. Speaking at the industry roundtable team, bridging the skill gap between education and industry needs in Nigeria, the managing director of Protein International, Deborah Yemi Oladayo, described the problem as a multidimensional. It is not a one way. If you design the curriculum, it means you are improving it. Then you need to retrain the people who are going to train the students, she said. She questioned the level of investment in lecturer development, adding that how many of our lecturers get more training? If we are expecting our lecturers to do more for our students, we need to give them the level of training so that they would be able to transfer in the classroom. Yemi Oladejo stressed that expecting improved outcome without equipping educators is unrealistic. The MD also advised students not to wait for systematic reforms before taking responsibility for their own development. She added that students must be intentional about their growth. The students, have to be part of the play. Nobody will do it for them. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: 60% of employers says graduates not job ready. We would go on a very short commercial. When we come back, we continue with the major stories for today.
your city. Are you ready to lift the roof with a shout of hallelujah? The most anticipated gathering of the year is finally here. It's All War Praise the Lord 2026. A night of supernatural atmosphere, unbridled praise and prophetic shifts, featuring the legendary tuba master Yinka Ayefele, the energy god Bidemi Olaoba, the soulful Alaseyori, plus Woli Arole, Elijah Daniels, and many more. And get ready for a life-changing prophetic word from Wole Oladin. Date Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. Time
3 p.m. prompt.
Venue Methodist Primary School Field, Fajuyi Road, Owo, Ondo State. Powered by Bukui Olagbegi. Don't be told. Be there. Owo. Let's praise the Lord.
Glad to have you back, and of course, for your adverts and bookings, you can reach us on 0816552469. Yes, away from that, and now to the Punch newspaper. Still on the Punch newspaper, where we have the talk on Neo Life scam. Distributor suspended, three-phase arraignment. Now the details. The Zone 5 commander of the Nigerian police in Benin, Edo State, is set to arraign 3 suspects for allegedly deceiving job seekers with fake employment offers to work for the health and well-being company Neolife. Also, the license of an independent distributor in the state allegedly linked to the fake job syndicate has been suspended. Neolife, a United States American-based wellness company, has vowed to unravel the gang offering the fake employment to young individuals in the country using the firm's name. The organization, operating in more than 50 countries globally, said its operations were based on global best practice with high regard for integrity as its pillar. Some of Nigerians, including students, were allegedly promised fake jobs and mouth-watering offers to work for New Life, which operates through partnerships with independent distributors and do not offer employment to individuals. Following the discreet investigation by the company in collaboration with the police, a syndicate in Edo State capital was uncovered by an allegedly involved in inviting candidates to attend fake jobs interviews in the same location. The police says at the interview venue, however, they started coaching them on how to market New Life products using all manners of trick and at all cost. The job seekers are made to believe that they are working for New Life. A widow who was invited to benefit from the distribution of the relief package in Benin said she was prevented from leaving the hall after she discovered the organization were talking about marketing of health products instead of the promised relief packages. The source added that investigation revealed that the young lady invited from Warit in Delta State of Benin to attend the purported interview section allegedly got in a rough deal. For details of that story, see the Punch newspaper with this headline: New Life's scam, distributor suspended, three-phase arraignment. Away from the Punch newspaper this morning and now to the Nation's newspaper where we have this headline. Federal government tightens airport security with joint screening system. Now the details. The federal government has directed the implementation of a one-stop joint interest screening system to enhance security at Nigerian airports. The acting regional manager, North Central Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Mr. Amadu Danjuma, made this known in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria yesterday in Abuja. Danjuma said the Office of the National Security Advisor issued a directive to, among others, ensure herdsmen and hoodlums were kept far away from the nation's airports. NANA reports that a one-stop joint interest screening system in aviation is a centralized checkpoint where multiple agencies jointly screen passengers, cargo, and staff members in a single process. It improves security, reduces duplication, and enhances efficiency by combining immigration, custom, and security checks into one streamlined, coordinated operation. Danjuma said FAN has also increased surveillance, deployed more personnel, and installed modern security equipment, including X-ray machine and the L3 scanning machine across major airports. Well, he said, and I quote, we collaborated with other security agencies to go intermittently around the airport with our security men to assure that the public have the airport at the airport are safe and secured. Danjuma reiterated the FAN has enhanced perimeter security and intelligence gathering to keep off others, stray hats, and intruder from the airport. For details of that story, see the Nation's newspaper with this headline. Federal government tightens airport security with joint screening system. Still on the Nation's newspaper this morning, talking politics, we have AFCON expanded to 28 teams amid regulatory reforms. Now the details. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has announced a sweeping expansion of the African Cup of Nations AFCON along with a rigorous overhaul of its internal regulations following a high level of exclusive committee meeting in Cairo. CAF President Patrice Motsepe confirmed yesterday that the continent's flagship tournament will increase from 24 to 28 teams. This marks the second expansion in less than a decade, following a move from 16 to 24 teams in 2019. In a significant departure from tradition, the AFCON is set to become a quadrennial event after the 2028 edition to fill the gap and ensure consistent continental action. CAF will introduce an annual national league starting in 2029, featuring a 16-team final tournament held every 2 years. For details of that story, see the Nation's newspaper with this headline. AFCON expands to 28 teams amid regulatory reforms. Yes, still on the Nation's newspaper this morning, where we have PDP elect new National Working Committee at Abuja Convention. Now the details. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has elected a new National Working Committee, NWC, at the 2026 National Convention held in Abuja, with leaders emerging through a consensus process. The exercise, which underscore calls for unity, inclusiveness, and renewed commitment to rebuild the party, produced the following officials who would steer the affairs of the PDP for the next 4 years. Abdurrahman Mohammed was elected as national chairman, while Aaron Chukwemeka emerged as deputy national chairman, South, and Yusuf Nya Ari Krime SAN as deputy national chairman, North. Anyanwu Samuel Inemeka was elected national secretary, and Kolawole Olabisi as deputy national secretary. Odeyemisi Maxon Oladiran emerged as national treasurer, while Lado Danmarke was elected deputy national treasurer. Enyim Donatus Henry is the national financial secretary, while Dr. Grima Kairi as deputy national financial secretary. Umar Mohammed Bachor emerged as national organizing secretary, while Efere Augustine is the deputy national organizing secretary. Oshua Okechukwu Donatus is the national auditor, with Dr. Adaba Osuhu Sheri Yatu as deputy national auditor. Professor Ogunshe Adenike Adebayo emerged as national women leader, and Awawu Ahmed Shingay is the deputy national women leader. Ibrahim Bala Abuki was elected national youth leader, while with Momo Jihin Yunis as deputy national leader. Addressing delegates, former Rivers State Governor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Nsomwike said the party had overcome a major internal crisis through the resilience and loyalty of its members. It commended grassroots supporters for their steadfastness and urged party faithful to work collectively to reposition the PDP for national leadership. For details of that story, see the Nation's newspaper with this headline: PDP elect a new national working committee at Abuja Convention. We are still on the Nation's newspaper this morning, where we have governors. Others celebrate Tinubu at 74. Now the details. Governor Yes, away from that, federal government targets job creation with new entrepreneurship program in varsities. Now the details. The federal government has unveiled a new entrepreneurship initiative for tertiary institutions. The program is part of effort to tackle graduate unemployment and promote job creation across the country. The Minister for Education, Tuji Alausa, who launched the Entrepreneurship Innovation and Business Incubation Certificate EIBIC program in Abuja at the weekend, said the initiative was designed to transform students into job creators rather than job seekers. He announced that the government had selected 14 universities for the pilot phase of the program. They include the University of Lagos, Unilag, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Bayero University, Kano, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, University of Benin, Uniben, University of Port Harcourt, Uniport, Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, Ilefe, University of Ibadan, UI, University of Maduguri, Unimed, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN, Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Akwa, and University of Abuja. Alausa described the initiative as a strategic response to changing global realities, where technology is reshaping industry and reducing traditional employment opportunities. The minister stated that the program stalled a shift in Nigeria's education system from theory-based learning to innovations, enterprise development, and a particular and practical skill acquisition. Alausa noted that Nigeria's youthful population remains a crucial asset, but one that conventional academic models could no longer address rising unemployment on and employability challenges. The minister explained that the EIBIC program would embed entrepreneurship training across disciplines such as engineering, medicine, law, sciences, and the creative arts, enabling students to acquire practical skill while in school. For details of that story, see the nation's newspaper with this headline: Federal government targets job creation with new entrepreneurship program in varsities. Away from the nation's newspaper and now to the Guardian, where we have Loma sensitizes highway sweepers on safety procedure. Now the details. The Lagos State Waste Management Authority's Loma has conducted a health and safety training exercise for highway sweepers to enhance their skill and efficiency. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Loma, Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegeshin, who spoke during the training held along the Ikate-Legushi corridor of the Lekki-Epe Expressway on Friday, said that the authority was ever committed to the safety and well-being of its frontline sanitation workers. The training, however, focused on the proper use of personal protective equipment (PPE), including gloves, masks, and safety boots, as well as safe handling and disposal of hazardous waste material. Gadigashin said the exercise was part of the broader strategy to strengthen safety protocol and ensure that highway sweepers are adequately equipped and trained to carry out duties in a safe and professional manner. He emphasized that frontline sanitation workers operate in challenging environments and must be provided with the right knowledge, tools, and protective gel to minimize operational risk and enhance productivity. According to him, the training also reinforced Loma's commitment to maintaining high operational standards while prioritizing the health and safety of personnel responsible for keeping Lagos Road clean. For details of that story, see the Guardian newspaper with this headline: Loma sensitizes highway sweepers on safety procedure. And yes, with that, we have come to the end of today's edition of In the Papers. It's been an insightful journey through the headlines and As always, the stories don't just end on the papers, they continue in our daily life, our conversation, and the choice we make as citizens. Remember, staying informed is not just a habit, it's a responsibility. Keep asking questions, keep staying engaged, and never underestimate the power of knowledge. Until I come your way again, same time, same station, tomorrow, 9 a.m., do be a part of our world as we have endless educative, entertaining, informative programs outlined for your listening pleasure.